Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome back to another episode here at the Brown Book Series. Y'all know what to do. At 6 o'clock, Brown Book Series is on, and we have a very, very special guest here tonight. New York Times and USA Today's bestselling author, Miss Emma Chase. But y'all know what to do before we bring Emma on. Go call your friends, like, share, and if you haven't already subscribe to our channel. But call your friends and let them know it's 6 o'clock. It's time for Brown Book Series, and we'll be right back with Miss Emma Chase.
Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience, October 28th and 29th, 2022 at the Westin Old Town Alexandria, featuring some of your favorite romance authors: Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Iris Boland, Deborah Fletcher Mello, and so much more. The Raw Experience will include book signings, meet and greet, photo ops, vendors, shopping, surprise celebrity guests, and live performances. Registration is wide open at brownbookseries.com. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Experience.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, but not the last time, here at the Brown Book Series. Please welcome New York Times and USA Today's bestselling author, my friend, Miss Emma Chase. Hi, Emma.
Hi. It's so nice to be here with you. Hello.
It's so nice to have you here, ma'am. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I am well.
That's what's up. Because, girl, you know, we was talking off air about our little hot flashes that we be having up here in the Northeastern. People don't know. This whole little New England, you know, we call it, what's it, upward, the Mason-Dixon line. The weather is, 1 minute is hot, next minute is cold. Then
it's messing with us. It can't make up its mind. No, 1 minute it is like freezing cold, and then the next minute we're melting. So
we're melting. I literally the other day had on a hoodie and some booty shorts and some Uggs because I just.
Yep. I went to we went to visit a college campus with my son. Actually, we were walking around, and it was. I mean, we had gloves. I had hats in the car. It was that cold.
It's a mess, but once the weather figure out what it wants to do, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But it's not beautiful long. Don't fall in love.
Make up its mind. That's
Make up its mind. Exactly. Emma.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about you outside the literary world. We'll get into all that a little later on. So what is it like in the day in the life of New York Times, USA Today's bestselling author, Emma Chase?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would love to sit here and say, you know, I have my mimosas for breakfast.
Oh,
and then I go out on the beach and I write, you know, these breathtaking romantic scenes.
Oh, shit.
But I'm lying. It's really, you know, my life is surprised. It's just really kind of average, to be honest with you.
It's regular, Emma.
It's really regular. Like if you passed me in the grocery store, I mean, I look like this. This is how I walk around. But a lot of it all happens in my head. So like while I'm driving my son to school, while I'm walking my dogs, while I'm grocery shopping, the stories are always there. And, you know, I'll hear music, I'll hear a song, I'll think of a scene, I'll think of dialogue. I'm constantly, you know, jotting little notes down on my phone. Not the most organized person, so I've just started cluing into at like the top of the note, writing for like which book that little scene that I'm writing down belongs to.
Oh wow!
So that's mostly like most days, and you know, and then I set aside 4 or 5 hours in a block for writing. And that'll either happen at night. It either happens like first thing in the morning before the house gets rolling, or I'll do it like late in the day. Recently, for like the last year or two, I've actually been driving to a park nearby
Oh,
and writing in the back seat of my car. I love my car. Got a really comfortable big car. So that's kind of been my office, because since everyone was home, back when everything was locked down, getting out and getting away
right.
from the house really helped me to focus and really kind of helped me separate. So I've stayed with that just because it really helps cut down on the distractions.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah. And then again, my son's home from school, husband comes home, I love to cook, I'll make dinner, and then we hang out, we watch TV. And that's my day.
And then you take our time to come talk to me.
And then I come, yes. Well, these are the special events where, I tell the whole house, I'm like, remember, everyone be quiet.
Listen, you sound like me, and I'm like, listen, y'all, I got an interview. Relax.
Yeah.
Everybody can be cool, and all of a sudden, my dog have a chocolate lab. He'll just come to the door and just start barking, like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, dude, I just told you I'm about to do an interview. Calm down.
Yep, exactly. I know they do that breathing thing at the door.
Yes, girl. And then you look up, and all you see is just a paw, just one paw hanging. I'm like, dude. I love it. Now, Emma, so now that we know that you just be at home lollygagging, not really writing, now, do you think that you would keep that same regimen going when the world completely opens back up, and would that just be your thing now, going to the park and writing? Or
you know what, I it's funny because I have actually found every few books I change where I write. So way back in the day, my very first book, I wrote it in the middle of the night. I wrote it, my kids were younger, they were in grade school. So I wrote like when everyone was asleep, then I was writing, or when they were off to school, I was writing. Sometimes it happens in my office. Sometimes it happens at the library. I've gone to the library to finish books. Usually it's that last stretch, that last 25,000 words, or, the last few weeks of writing that you really just got to buckle down and get it done. And my family's been through this enough that, that's when they know, they live on soup for a couple weeks. Paper plates, paper cups, everybody gets by. But yeah, I think once everything opens up, I mean, again, the location may change. It may not be the park. It might be just here in my office, or downstairs on the couch with the dogs, just to kind of save time from going somewhere. But I always tend to just find that kind of alone time. So that won't change. It's just going to be where that happens.
Okay, I understand that. Now, Emma, when did you decide that writing was your thing, that you want to become a writer?
So I wanted to be an author since I could write, since I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Not 6 or 7 and want to write nasty books.
No, that was like 12 or 13.
I love it.
But no, I always loved, like at sleepovers, I was the one like making up ghost stories, to like entertain my friends. And it's just something that has always kind of lived in my head. Like I said, a lot of times I'll hear a song and I'll think of like a montage with that song playing in the background. And I'll kind of think of where that song would fit in a scene or the emotions that it evokes. So, I've just always kind of loved just making up stories and telling stories and entertaining. And when I was about 11, 12, 13, I was a huge V.C. Andrews reader. I was reading all my mom's Joanna Lindsay romances, Daniel Steele's and Julie Garwood's.
Yeah.
So, and I love to read. And I think a lot of my love of writing stories comes from reading stories, and experiencing those emotions with the characters.
Yeah.
So it was always a dream, but it was never, I tend to be a pretty logical person. So it was always going to be like, kind of like my side hustle. Like I was going to get a regular job, I'm pretty practical like that. And I had never truly anticipated being able to make a living off of writing. I always thought that it would be something that I would do for my own passion, my own enjoyment. The dream was to publish a book, hold my own book in my hand. But you know, everything that's happened in my career truly has been more than I ever had hoped for or dreamed. So that's why I just love, I think I'm the luckiest person in the world. You know, I love my job. I love my life. I'm really blessed to be able to do what I do.
That's what I said. I love that. Now, are you considered an hybrid author, or you are full? Okay, so
I am a hybrid author. So when I started out, my first book, Tangled, was published with a small indie press, an indie publishing house, and it was very successful. And Tangled in the series was then acquired by Simon & Schuster at auction.
Oh.
Yes, and it was all very, very surprising, like a wonderful thing. But you know, like I was working with a publicist, and my first publisher was great, and you know, we had done promotion and everything leading up to Tangled's release, and then it was published. And like the day it was published, I remember looking, and you know, it was like 200 something on Kindle. And I remember like texting my publicist, like, oh my gosh, this is so great. It's doing so good. And she's like, yeah, you know, we'll keep pushing. It's doing well. And then like a couple hours later, I went back and it was like 20. And it was like 1 or 2 in romance, like on all of Kindle. I was like, are you seeing this? Or is it just me? So
wait, hold on. That is the ranking ones?
Yeah, the ranking.
So it went from 200 to 20.
To 20. Yeah, like the whole Kindle store.
That's some good shit right there.
Oh, it was amazing. Like, and I was getting like emails from like people in New Zealand, and I'm like, how did they hear about my book?
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was wild. And in the best kind of way, you know, obviously. And I think that day I remember saying to my husband, like, I'm just going to enjoy this because like there's nowhere else to go but down after this.
And you went all the way up after that.
Yes.
Kept climbing. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, so, totally surprising.
So are you still with that publishing company, or did you decide to move on to another one?
So I did the rest of the Tangled series with Simon & Schuster with Gallery. And then I published my second series, the Legal Reefs books, which was 3 full-length novels and a novella, also with Simon & Schuster. And then I started branching out into, I think I published the novella in that series, the ebook. So I self-published the novella. So, you know, you start just kind of just experimenting. That was kind of where I was too, was I was really up for new experiences and, you know, just kind of educating myself. I feel like I've learned so much about the publishing industry. I was very curious about, you know, the self-publishing part. So my third series, the Royally series, I ended up self-publishing the ebook and the print, but Simon & Schuster Audio published the audiobooks.
Okay.
So I really enjoy the I love working with a publisher. You know, I do. I love the collaborative approach. I've always had a really positive experience with my publishers.
Right.
At the same time, you know, being an indie and self-publishing, you can be really quick on your feet. You know, you could do sales. You have the final say about changes or, you know, covers and, you know, all those little details that go into a publishing book. And that's nice too. So, and then my last few books, the Getting Some series, I have published the audiobooks with Audible. Yeah. A few of them have been Audible originals.
Okay.
So Audible publishes the audiobook first, and then I self-publish the ebook and the print like 2 months later. So that's been something a little bit different too. So I'm definitely a hybrid. So I work with publishers, and then I also self-publish.
Your own thing. I absolutely love that. Okay, girl. Now, speaking of publishing and books and all that good stuff, it brings us to the first segment here at the Brown Book Series called Name That Book. Well, we give you either a synopsis or a passage or something pertaining to one of your books, and you have to name that book. Now, you have a couple of series. So if we give you the character, we're talking about the character name, the main character of that book. And even if you get the series, you know, I let it slide. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Now, I got to put my glasses on, Emma, because on top of being hot, I can't see.
I like your glasses.
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
Very pretty.
Thank you, darling. See, I love my friend right now. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to read it to you. You got to just give us that book. Hopefully Ramsey didn't screw us up.
This, hopefully. Because sometimes I'm like, did I write that?
Listen, let me tell you. And then that's when I'll be like, where's the ghostwriter? Ask the ghostwriter what's the name of this book. Shit. I love it. All right. First up, name that book. When you're a defense attorney in Washington, D.C., you see firsthand how hard life can be. And that's sometimes the only way to survive is to be harder.
That is sustained.
That is
better.
Yes, honey, that is sustained.
Yes.
I love it. I like the whole series because you got sustain and you got appeal and you got cute.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that series.
Next up, and them boys were sex in that series. They remind me like Boston Legal.
Yeah. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was young too. Like I wanted to be a lawyer and then an author on the side. That was like
that was hot.
Yeah. But I thought it was so funny that I ended up writing a series about lawyers.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
worked for a lawyer when I was in college. I was a receptionist at a law office.
Okay, look at you.
Yeah, so it all kinds of gets in there.
Round, yes, I love it. All right, name that book. Character, Dean Walker.
Getting Played.
Getting Played. Oh, Emma wrote her books, y'all. Okay. I love it. Next up. I love this character. I don't know why. Character, Abigail Haddock.
Dirty Charmer.
Girl, let me tell you something about Dirty Charmer. It was the name for me.
Yes.
I was like, yo, why she call him the Dirty Charmer? This is that I read the book. I was like, that name is it's fitting. It's
No, in some books I find that when it comes to like the love scenes, or the sexy scenes or the passionate scenes, like different books, those serve different purposes. And I feel like in that book, it was just really fun to make those scenes hot. There are just some books that you just dive in and you go there. And that was fun.
I love it. I said, I love Miss Emma, honey. She'll drop the F-bomb in a minute, baby. I love it. It's like, yes, Emma is my kind of girl. All right. Next up, name that book. How can one woman turn a smooth talking player into a broken, desperate man? By making the one thing he never wanted by making the one thing he never wanted in life, the only thing he can't live without.
And that is Tangled.
And that is Tangled. Girl, let me tell you about that cover. Hold that cover up one more time.
Oh my gosh.
That cover is everything. If I could just be some red blankets, some covers, honey.
It's so perfect. It is. And from a creative perspective, I'm just going to say this. In the book, there's this whole conversation about the perfect pillow.
Yes.
And so I love that, there it is, that the pillow is there too. That he's the pillow's there. It is so eye-catching and just so, I love this one.
Who did the cover?
My first publisher, Nific Publishing, did the cover in beige, actually. Hold that thought.
Hold that thought, y'all. We finna get this new.
So this is the original Tangled cover.
Okay.
And then when Simon & Schuster acquired it, they felt that the red would be more eye-catching on a bookshelf.
I went down.
Yes.
Yeah, I went down.
So, yeah, really, I mean, covers go they are like the number one marketing, technique that you can do is the cover. Because it's so much, so quickly.
It really does. And so Tangled.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Tangled. The reason I'm asking about Tangled because it's like one of your earlier books.
Yeah, it's my first book.
It's your first book, and it's a movie now.
It is a movie now. Yeah.
Wait. So first of all, tell us about Tangled, honey. Well, tell them about Tangled. I know about Tangled. I read it. Tell us about Tangled, and then we're gonna get into the movie.
Yes. So Tangled is the story of investment banker New York investment banker,
Yes.
Drew Evans.
Mhm.
And he is the quintessential playboy. He is very honest with the women that he hooks up with, but he's never done relationships. He's not interested in relationships. And one night out at the bar, he meets a beautiful dark-haired woman who turns him down when he propositions her.
Yes.
And it turns out Monday morning he goes into his office where he is a star, and the new hire working at his firm is none other than Kate Brooks, the woman that he met at the bar.
Mhm.
And they go through different phases of their relationships, hate, competitiveness. They're both vying for the same client. There's a ton of sexy banter and arguing and fighting and passion.
And it's funny.
You know, in a lot of ways, I look at Tangled as more of a comedy even before the romance than anything else. I look at it as, you know, I wanted it to be funny, and I was hoping that people would laugh at every page.
Girl, listen. Yeah, we laughed at Tasha because I was like, yo, Drew is, yeah. He's a hoot by himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like doing stand-up. Like,
yes.
It was like a stand-up routine, because Tangled is also completely from the male point of view, from Drew's point of view.
Drew's point of view, yeah.
And he breaks the fourth wall. So a lot of times throughout the story, he brings the reader in. He talks to the reader. Do you see this? Don't look at me like that. So there's a lot of kind of unconventional, I guess you could say, aspects to the book that I think make it really fun. It just makes it really fun, a little bit.
All the Drew shenanigans he gets from his daddy.
He does. I'm so glad you picked that up. Not many people realize that.
Got it from his daddy. I was like, where's his daddy book at? That's who.
Yes, I had considered that actually back in the day.
I
considered doing. You know, I planted little seeds here about John and Anne and doing kind of their story. But at the time, my editor didn't think people would want to read about his parents, like hooking up. And all that.
That would have been like a cute little novella for you to do, you know, for you to publish on your own. Because I was interested in it. I was like, what his daddy? I was like, yo, what's up with them?
There's a story there, right? Yes.
That's a story. That's a story there.
Yes. So that was Tangled. And this was my first book that was published, started it all. And yes, it was optioned by Passionflix. And they filmed last year. It was released this past February.
Yes.
The movie is also called Tangled, starring Catherine Hughes and Josh Plassey. And it's phenomenal. I thought they did an absolute phenomenal job.
I think they did too. Because sometimes, you know, when people do the when they do the movie adaptation of stuff, you be like, that's not in the book. That's not in the book. It's so far away from the book. But I'm like, yo, this was dead on. Like, this was, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, somebody read this book and it was good.
They captured the feel of the book. I feel like when you're watching the movie, you kind of go through the same beats and the same, whether it's the comedy aspect or the frustration with the character or, you know, the romance of it. They really captured those same beats from the book. And I think that's why it feels, even though, you know, if some things did have to be changed, but they captured the most important moments and emotions. And I think Josh just did.
I was just about to say that.
Job. Yeah.
And he looks like, I'm telling you, when I saw the movie, I'm like, is this the boy on the cover? They look alike. I mean, you know, I was like, they did a great job in casting.
They truly did. I mean, like, I think Catherine, like, literally is everyone's kind of image of Kate. Like, she walked out of my brain.
Yes.
And Josh, yes, the way that they look, but also I think he made him so lovable. And I am not, you know, I'm not being self-depreciating when I'm saying, like, this story in particular, because the character walks that very fine line between you wanting to smack him.
You want to, like, smack him and sleep with him all in the same time.
Exactly. And it could have been, I feel like, in a less talented actor's hands, or with a different team behind the camera, it could have been very unlikable and it could have gone very bad.
You're right. You're right. But no, it was good. I said, look at Hermione. She got movies and stuff. This is cool.
It's super cute and super fun. And again, I mean, that's something that I really never even I never even remember like dreaming of that, like, oh, having one of my books made into a movie. But the fact that it happened was such an amazing experience. And the fact that it's good, you know what I mean? The fact that I'm so excited for people to watch it is just an amazing, amazing thing.
That's what's up. We're gonna do us a little watch party here at the Brown Book series, honey. Because my friends, y'all have to watch it. Brown Book is the movie's good. It's funny good too.
It is. It's nice. And you know what? It's the kind of, I thought it was just me, but I've heard from so many people, it's one of those movies that it gets funnier and sweeter the more you watch it. It gets more things. Yeah, and it gets better and better.
And you can watch it again. You know, some movies you watch and you're like, okay, this is a one-time watcher, and that's it. Then you have some movies that every single time it comes on, I'm watching it. I don't care. It's like
whatever it is, you just stop what you're doing
and watch it. And then some movies, some people like, you know how people have the television on, they call it like white noise, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like, for me, it's always something that I love looking at, because I love just like, I would just want to glance up and just see a portion of it or whatever. That movie is good. It's real good.
I'm so glad you think so.
Yeah, I watched it twice. I'm like, okay, anytime this come on, I could watch this.
I would watch this again. Yeah. I watched it like 4 times. And the first time I watched it, I actually watched it with no volume on. I had it on mute the whole time.
Oh,
I just wanted to. I knew the lines, I knew the dialogue.
But his whole characteristics, the way he moved itself is awkwardly sexy. So, and funny. He gets a different kind of something.
Yeah,
you could be laughing at him and wondering what he's doing. I'm telling you, it was, the movie was good. The characters was awesome. Did you pick these characters, or did you like have?
I had input. Yeah, it was definitely a collaborative. Myself, Tracy Hayes is the director. Tracy is the best of the best. Tosca Musk, she is the CEO of Passionflix and also a director. So it, they all, and they're the casting director at Passionflix as well. So what happened was they would do auditions and they would kind of choose the actors. For some of the roles, they narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 actors, and they would send them to me for my feedback. And then in other cases, they would say, this is who we want to go with. What do you think? So definitely my opinion was a huge consideration for them, because they wanted me to feel like it fit the character. So it was really cool to have that experience as well, to be a part of it, because that doesn't always happen.
That is true. That is true.
When adaptations happen. And I think that collaboration and the fact that Tracy and Tosca, they understood the book so well, and Josh and Catherine and all the actors really understood what made the story so lovable and what made these characters work. And there was just great chemistry, I think, between Josh and Catherine as well.
It was, girl. I was like, look at honey, they about to do it. Look at them.
And there's like all these like little details. Like I said, like there's this scene in the bar. I think it was like the 4th time that I watched it. There's this scene in the bar when they're dancing, and she kind of does this thing where she doesn't know what to do with her hands, and he puts her hands on his shoulders, and it's just like one of the sweetest, like rom-com-y, kind of moments that they really did a wonderful job. I couldn't be happier.
Listen, they do, because I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I love it.
Yes.
Now, when they called you and say, listen, we want to do a movie. Now, did they tell you the movie they wanted? Did they tell you the book first, or were they like, hey, we just want to do one of your books? Did you give them Tangled, or how did that all come about?
Yes. So they had optioned one of my other books, Royally Screwed.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is still in the works. It's still in the pipeline to be made. That they were going to do some shoots overseas.
That's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. That's a really, I think, good visual book, too.
Yeah.
But some things, got in the way. So it had to be kind of pushed back a little bit, like I said, with COVID and everything. It just, things got complicated. And then one day I got a call from my agent saying that Passionflix had reached out and they had read Tangled and they were interested in optioning Tangled. And what did I think? And I had already known by this time, I had known Tosca and I had known the Passionflix team. They had actually made one of my short stories, The Naughty List, which was a holiday kind of story, into a quickie. So it's like a little 15-minute kind of quick, sweet, fun movie. So I had worked with them. And I was excited because since Tangled was published, lots of people had said, oh, this would make a great movie. It's like a movie in my head. At the same time, I was a little nervous because, as we said, like, this is not an easy book to adapt to a movie because so much of the character development, the comedy happens in his head, happens in the telling of the story. So it was going to be interesting, I knew, to see how they made that work. But I knew if it would be in the best hands, in Passionflix's hands. And I truly believed that because of their commitment to staying with the books that they turn into movies and series and being true to those stories. I knew it was in good hands. And then when we started the script writing and I saw how they handled the breaking of the fourth wall and Drew talking to the audience and all that was there, then it was just a fantastic, enjoyable ride from that point on.
That's what's up. I'm happy about that. All right. We are still in the game. Next up.
Okay. Little detour there.
Girl. All right. Next up. Name that book. We see the struggle to balance family relationships with the demands of the monarchy.
I'm going to say, is that my most recent release, Royally Remembered?
New release.
Yes.
Royally Remembered.
Royally Remembered.
Royally Remembered. I love it. And happy release day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is a wonderful, wonderful day because this is kind of like my passion project. These stories. It's a novella length collection of short stories.
Listen, hold on, Emma. Let me just say this.
Yes.
The way you had me crying, reading this book, I said, Emma need her whole ass beat for it. That is girl, let me tell you something. That girl, Queen Lenora and Prince Edward.
Yes.
I'm so happy that you went back into their life and their story because it was like I never got to see Nicholas's. Oh my! It was just, it was so good. I was laughing, I was crying. I'm like, this is a straight tear jerker. Why did you do us like that?
Thank you.
No, that's not right.
I know. Little bit.
I had to get my lashes done over. I was like, what the whole hell? Because I mean, I read the series. In the series now, you'd be like, okay, it's But this book was just, I don't know, why did it make me cry like this?
Yeah. But you know what?
I'm changing my name to Lenora. Just start calling me Queen Lenora.
Yeah, and so it's a collection of short stories that take place, as you said. It's truly for readers of the series. It really is. It's for people who've read the whole series and know these characters and love these characters. And because these are stories, a lot of people after Royally Yours came out. Yeah. And Royally Yours is the main book of Queen Lenora and Prince Edward. And it was unplanned. Let me just start off with that. It was supposed to be a trilogy. Yeah, it was supposed to be Royally Screwed, Royally Matched, and Royally Endowed. And then I was going to move on to the spin-off series with the Bodyguards.
Yeah.
Dirty Charmer. And while I was writing that, I got the idea for Royally Yours. Where are we? There we go. Royally Yours. There's actually 2 covers for Royally Yours.
There's 2 covers?
Yes.
Why are you picking all these different? Why are you always picking 2 different covers, Emma?
Yeah, well, so this was the original cover, and I feel like it goes with the other books.
Yeah.
Okay. But once it was published, and I love this cover, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But once it was published, I did get some feedback that people didn't feel, because this is a little bit more poignant. This is Edward and Lenora's story. It's a little bit more poignant, a little bit more serious, although there's a lot of humor and sexiness and romance in their story.
Right.
So some readers wanted a different cover. And I thought about that. So I did do a hardcover for them. And that's why we put, there's a hardcover and this is the paperback.
Okay. That's what's up. Okay, cool.
So I got the idea for Edward and Lenora's story, and it was just like this beautiful story that I was so excited to tell. So I told it, but I wanted to end happily because romances have happy endings. So Royally Yours ends, when Lenora and Edward are young, and they get their happy ever after, and this is their love story. But readers knew that in Royally Screwed, which was book 1, the queen is just the queen and her husband has passed away.
Yes.
So after Royally Yours came out, I got a flood of emails saying like, well, what happened? Like, because you never really find out what happened, how Edward passes away.
My email was in there too. Yeah, my email was in there too.
Yes, and there were kind of all these details. And to be honest, I've always been fascinated by Queen Lenora's character through all the books.
Yeah,
because she's so layered. The lovely thing about this series, what I love so much, is there's so many different aspects to the relationships between the characters, and it's really complicated because you have this resentment and love and respect and obligation, and it's all kind of mixed up with this royal backdrop. So it's really so much awesomeness to kind of sink my teeth into. But she was always, for me, the most complicated and the most layered because she had this commitment and this duty to her country.
Yes.
And who she was. And at the same time, she had this genuine, true motherly love for her family.
What I love. Now, for the ones who have not read this series, tell us a little bit about Royally Remembered. But you have, and I tell everybody too, that's not Edward's series. Because sometimes people be like, oh, you get to stand alone. I'd be like, yeah, but when you're looking at the other characters and stuff, I mean, it's a good book and you kind of piece it together, but I feel like you should read it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And, so you can see exactly what happened. Because if you just pick this up, you'd be like, you're going to go back to Royally Screwed anyway. Because you don't want to know, like, well, damn. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? Because it kind of coincide with each other. So, okay, I'm sorry. Now I'm rambling because...
No. I literally put in the back, like, this is for people who have read the series. You should read these 4 books first. Because I think you can kind of figure it out, but it won't hit the same way.
It won't hit the same way. I'm telling you. And you need to see how this thing hits, especially with Nicholas Dunn. Okay, tell us a little bit about Royally Remembered.
Yes. So Royally Remembered is a collection of short stories that take place after Royally Yours, which is the prequel in the Royally series, before and during Royally Screwed, which is book 1 in the series, all the way up until after Royally Endowed, which is the last book in the series. So it's kind of these little stories scattered throughout that timeline that are about events that are referred to in the main books and talked about. So for instance, the main character in Royally Screwed, Nicholas, and his brother Henry, Henry, who is the hero in Royally Matched, their parents, who were the prince and princess, die in a plane crash and they pass away. And this happens before the start of Royally Screwed, and it's referred to throughout the series. They talk about their parents. Well, in Royally Remembered, we get to meet their parents, Thomas and Princess Callista, in a short story called Christmas at the Castle. And we meet them when they're young and when they're in love, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a glimpse of them. And then you kind of feel like you know them more. And I think it makes some of the things that you learn about them and read in Royally Screwed and Royally Matched makes it a little bit more deeper and makes them a little bit more emotional, because now you feel like you had a chance to meet these characters and kind of see who they are. So
it was hella emotional. It
was very emotional. Yeah. And this was literally like 2 years in the making. So like these stories were kind of running around and playing out in my head. I was kind of figuring out, I knew how Edward had passed away. So in Royally Screwed, when Royally Screwed begins, the queen is 79 and her husband has passed away 10 years earlier.
Right.
But it's never really explained how that happens.
Right.
So there's a little short story where you find out the details of that. So it's very emotional, the short stories. There is some humor, there is some lightness. But for me, even the most heartbreaking moments in this, there's a beauty to it because I think there's so much love between these characters and so much love that these characters have for each other that it makes it kind of beautiful, like even in the most tragic moments, that at least they still have each other and they still have that love for one another. Mm-hmm. So really this was like my gift, because like I said, to the readers and to the fans of the series, I knew that I loved thinking about these stories and picturing them in my head.
Yes.
So if I enjoyed it, I knew that you guys would want to have them and would enjoy them as well. And
I'm glad you're looking out for us, girl.
Yeah. And it's a privilege to be able to do that. It is, you know what I mean? To be able to self-publish something and share it with my readers. And I thought about, okay, am I going to put this on my website? Because sometimes I put extra stories, free short stories on my website. Right. But I really wanted you guys to have it in a paperback and an ebook, like with the other books. And I'm just really excited to finally be able, it was kind of like a passion project for like the last few years, something I was working on the side. And I'm so happy to be able to kind of send it out to you.
You can tell it. Let's see here. Ramsey says, show the book up close and personal. Oh, yes, royally remember. Okay. I love
cover.
That. Yeah, this cover is beautiful. Oh, I love that.
Yes, Bai Hong Lee is the designer of all my self-published books, all my covers, and she just is the most talented artist. She does a phenomenal job every time.
Man, let's talk about something else before I start crying again.
Yeah,
y'all, my people know when I say you guys gotta go and get this book. You gotta go get the whole series because I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Thank you so much.
It's so awesome. All right, now this is going to bring us to the next segment here in the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather?
Oh, okay.
Well, we take the heroes from your books and pit them against each other. You got to let us know who you want to have a one-night stand with, girl.
Oh, dear.
Yes, we ain't talking about no marriage. We ain't talking about none of that. Hitting and quitting. If they want to leave someone one-night stand, we'll take it.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. All right, first up, who'd you rather? Oh, let me see. Drew Evans or Matthew, I spelled his name wrong, Fisher.
Yes, Matthew Fisher. I'm going to say Drew. Love Matthew to death. He is a doll, but Drew.
Yeah, I say Drew too.
Drew was a good time.
Matthew was cute. He was, but yeah, no, I need Drew in my life. All right. Easy breezy. Next up, who'd you rather? Dan Walker or Garrett Daniels?
Oh, it's a hard one.
Yeah. Look, and who you want it to get hard for, honey? Yes.
Oh, this is a tough one because Dean's kind of a player and the big player. And, Garrett dated, but his heart always belonged to Callie. I'm going to go with Dean.
Okay.
Yeah, Garrett's relationship. If we were doing like,
we don't care.
Married, yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Dean.
Okay, yeah, yep. Okay, Dean it is. All right, next up. Now, I told them they was wrong for this. They was like Battle of the Lawyers. Jake Becker or Staten Shaw?
Jake Becker.
You went with Jake.
Jake.
Why Jake?
And the tattoos. He's a tattooed guy. Tattoos.
I know that. And so my team ain't no good, right? They was like, why we didn't do is it Brent? I was like, yeah. I said, hey, Brent, he in a wheelchair. They was like, Shay, you ain't shit. I said, I'm sorry. I love Brent's story though. I thought
yes, and you know what? And the reason Brent was an amputee.
He's an amputee, yeah.
Yes. And the reason he was because when I first envisioned the characters, when I first imagined them, I pictured Brent in a wheelchair, popping wheelies in a wheelchair. And I don't know why. I mean, I kind of look at it as the same way, you think of a character's hair color, eye color, like why. And then I kind of fleshed out his backstory to make that work.
You did good with that, though. I was trying to figure out how you was going to write that. But I mean, I read it when it first came out. And I was like, oh, she did good with this one. Okay, then.
Thank you. I liked that it was not, it's a part of him and a part of his story, but it's not the main story.
Right. And it was still a love story. It was still a beautiful love story. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah. No, and I like that. I like being able to have, different aspects of characters, you know what I mean? Different types of characters that people know in the real world and love. And,
that's a gift, though, for you, because a lot of people can't write people with disabilities. You know what I'm saying? They think they can. You be like, that don't even sound. It's either too overly something or too under something. But yours was like just right. So when we can see it, and be like, yeah, my friend in the wheelchair do the same thing. It wasn't. Yeah,
Thank you. Well, and I heard from a reader, it was like the biggest honor that they understood what nerve pain was.
Yes.
Because they had read that. And that happens with me too. You read fiction, and that's why it's really, really important for me to get as many of those details spot on as I can. I mean, I spoke with different organizations, just to kind of get the background info. Could someone, would they swim? Would they remove their prosthetic to swim? And I don't even think there was a scene where they were actually swimming, but it was just, just to kind of flesh out those details as much as you can, to make it, you want to get it right.
And make it believable, respectful, and all that. You did a great job with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Emma.
Yes.
Author's Moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
To finish the book that I am currently working on that is almost done.
Right, you got a new book coming out.
I have a new book coming out. Yes.
Okay. You got to finish that book. How long does it normally take you to write a book?
3 to 6 months, depending. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Always longer than I think it's going to. Always. Because I'm like, oh, I have it all in my head. It's no problem. But for me, the magic really happens in the rewriting and tweaking and until it gets to that point where it's really done. That's where a lot of the comedy comes in.
Yes.
Where it really gets magical. So that always takes more time than I think it's going to.
I love that. Okay, so for the rest of the year, you got to finish your book. So that's in the literary world. What about just the everyday, regular life of Emma Chase?
Oh, okay. I have a long to-do list. I guess make it through my to-do list. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Stay healthy. I have been, the last 6 weeks, I've been on a health kick, and I've really been watching, not necessarily to lose weight or anything like that, but I think everyone's probably gotten into some bad habits, in the last few years.
Yeah.
So I've been working on getting healthy, and I've been feeling good. So I want to stick to that.
Okay, you look good, girl. You look good.
Thank you.
Author's Moments. And being a novelist, what did you learn a little today? Be honest, Emma.
What did I learn
a little too late?
That my process takes longer than every time that I take longer to finish a book than I actually think I'm going to. I've been lucky enough to work with great editors that will work with me and arrange my release dates and all that. But I learned that I need to be alone and free of distractions to really be able to focus and write and get the actual work done, the real writing work done.
I absolutely.
And that is still an evolving process. And 15 books later, isn't that funny? That I'm still learning the process is usually the same, but it's me accepting the process. It's me not fighting against my process.
Gotcha.
So for instance, I write my books out of order. Fun fact.
Mm.
I jump around.
Okay.
And when I am in the real writing groove and I'm really being productive, I wake up and whatever scene is in my head for that day, that's the scene that I work on. And it could be from chapter 17. It could be from chapter 2. And for so long, I fight against that because I want to write it from beginning to end. Because then I can send it to my beta readers and I can send it to my editor like in chunks and I can get it done faster. So I'm going to add to that and I'm going to say, what did I learn a little too late is not to fight my own process, to just go with it and let it happen. And this is what works for me. So I have to accept that and go with it.
Yeah, because what works for you, we reap the reward of it. So,
and every time I try to start at chapter 1 and go from there, I either A, won't write anything at all, or it will be really bad.
Yeah, no.
And then I gotta go back and rewrite it anyway.
Yeah, no, we want you to stick to your process. Author's moment.
The process.
That's right. Author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be?
Of mine?
Mm-hmm.
Queen Lenore.
I was about to say, that's what I want to talk to.
Yeah, because she's just amazing. I adore her and I love her and I love her story. And yeah, I think she would be fascinating to talk to.
I think so too. Queen Lenore, I want to talk to her too. Okay, author's moment. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh my God. How can I say this?
Just say it, girl. We can say it.
You are awesome. You are awesome and you are worth it and you deserve it. I feel like I look back and I had no confidence when I was young in myself, in my looks, just in me in general. I was so hard on myself. And, you know, one of the benefits of getting to like your 40s is you really don't give a shit. Like you just
At all.
Like I am happy. I am happy with who I am and how I am. And like I said, I want to be healthy. I want to be around for a while. But other than that, like I'm really happy with who I am in life. And I wish I had been happy with who I was at 15, 16, 17, because it just makes things so much easier. It makes, you know, standing up for yourself, speaking your mind, being clear about what you want, what you put up with, what you won't put up with, when you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And you're happy with yourself, it's so much easier, you know, that and wear the bikini, honey, wear the bikini.
Right. Wear it, baby. I love it. I love it. Emma, what would your pen name be?
Wait, what was that?
What would your pen name be?
Oh, if it wasn't Emma?
If it wasn't. So Emma Chase is your pen name?
Yes.
Why you got a pen name, Emma?
Why do I have a pen name?
Yeah.
Because I have my kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was because they were at like this weird age. They were at that tough age when I started publishing. And yeah, that was really why I just figured. And I think, I don't know, it just helps with separating. Because for me, for my books, maybe because my early books were many from the male point of view as well. But when I write, because I write my books from first person point of view, the magic really happens when I dive into their head and I kind of can see the world through the character's eyes and I know how they would phrase things and how they think about things. And I think having a pen name helps separate myself from like my author self. You know what I mean? It makes that process a little bit easier, I think.
Now, how hard was it for you to pick that name though? Because you know, some people, who was I talking to? One author, her name was her pen name was like she just added a little like maybe a Lynn on to her real name. Like, because they would have been calling the pen name, and I would have been like, who they talking to? So like, how did you come up with your pen name?
It was really like casual, like just one day,
real regular. She just
real random. I read an article that 2-syllable for a pen name, 2-syllable first name and single syllable last name just is very like Stephen King
Yeah.
is just very popular with authors. And also that the last name should be towards the front of the alphabet because books are shelved alphabetically. So just one day I just like read, I've always loved, loved the name Emma. If I had to do it all over again though, so my handwriting is terrible. I apologize to anyone who has gotten signed books. For me, I try. I don't have pretty handwriting. And the E, makes it's not easy to write. It's signature. So I might have gone back and picked a totally different name.
Oh my God. They're like, what is this? It's supposed to be an E. I'm like,
yes, it's just like, I try. I do. But no, and now I love it because now it is my name. Like, honestly, like I feel like, it definitely is. I'm so comfortable with it, that it's definitely me now.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Emma, if you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. Okay. From any era, so it could be like current people, right?
Yeah, dead or alive.
Okay. Dolly Parton.
Oh,
I think she is amazing and phenomenal.
I love Dolly Parton. And when she and Kenny Rogers do they duet together?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She's talented and does so much with her reading program.
Yes.
And she's always like classy and kind. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Phenomenal. Tina Turner. I love to talk to Tina because I think she has lived. Because she was like, the women who like broke through. You know what I mean? Like their times were tough. Like when she came up in the industry. So like I said, the stories that she has to tell and the experiences that she must have lived through, I think she is just an astounding woman as well.
Right. I mean, I want somebody to write a book about her because I want to know how she, about her mom background.
Yeah. Like that, we found out, you hear so much about her and Ike, and that relationship and how that, but what about like before that? Yeah. And the people, her family.
Mm-hmm. And
I agree.
Okay. So we got Dolly, we got Tina.
Yep. Betty White.
Oh, yeah.
Betty White. That hurt.
Yeah, right.
Betty. Yeah. Because she's another one, this lifelong, long career, funny woman, kind woman. I just think they would be really fun, to have been with.
Even her life too, she didn't get remarried. She didn't have any kids, so it's like, baby, over there. Yeah. Yes. All right.
Marilyn Monroe.
Look at you. Let's go. You want to know about the Kennedy? You don't want to know about Marilyn.
I want the details. But no, also because I don't know. I look at Marilyn Monroe as it's tragic. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's such a tragic tale. Of a woman who, maybe didn't believe in herself or maybe like didn't have anyone to believe in her. So, I just think that would be, I don't know, maybe she could benefit from talking to Tina and Dolly and and Betty White.
Definitely. That is cute. Oh yeah, I can't wait. All right, we got one more.
From any era.
Any era.
I would say let's go with Jane Austen.
Okay.
Because she is I think she's one of the birth mothers of romance.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be fascinating for her to know where all her stories led to?
That is
how they evolved.
That will be hot. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, Emma, this has brought us to the end of our interview. We have one question left. But before we ask this last question, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
This has been so much fun and such a joy. Thank you for having me, truly. This was great.
You've been great. I was like, I love Emma, honey. So tell everyone where they can get, let everybody know about all your social media handles, how they can get in contact with you, and where can they go to get your latest novel.
Yes. So I'm on social media. I'm most active on Twitter, which is Emma Chase, EMMACHSE, no second A. I'm on Facebook, my author page, my website is authoremmachase.com. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram as well. So I love to hear from readers. I love to interact, drop me a line, say hi anytime. You can get all my books wherever books are sold, certainly online, Amazon, my paperbacks, Barnes and Noble, and wherever books are sold, you can get my books. My audiobooks go to audible.com and they're all there.
Sounds good. I absolutely love it. All right. Last up, Emma.
Yes.
If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
I would say Unexpected Blessings.
Unexpected Blessings.
Unexpected Blessings. Because you know what? Not just with my writing career, but I met my husband. I met my husband when I was 21. And I met him. He was a family friend of my stepfather's nephew. So it was like through like this one and that one. And we met at a barbecue. And I remember my mother had conspired with my stepfather's sister to introduce me to my husband. And, being 21, I'm like, oh my God, stop talking to people about my love life. And I had said to my friend, she had to go pick up her dad at the airport. And I'm like, well, come with me, to this barbecue. I just have to stop in real quick and then I'll have an excuse to leave, to go get your dad. So we went, and that's where I met my husband. And I remember saying to her when we got in the car, because we had to go leave to pick up her dad, like, oh my gosh, he's really cute. And so, like I said, it just kind of one of those things. And he ended up calling me a few weeks later, and it just kind of happened. And I feel like that's pretty much the story of my professional career as well. My personal career, my personal life, that I've been married now to him 22 years. We have 2 beautiful, talented, healthy, wonderful children. So a lot of the best things that have happened to me, including my publishing, publishing Tangled, my dream, was to hold my book in my hands. And now I'm a best-selling novelist. And now, my books are being made into films and translated into dozens of languages all over the world. So these things that I kind of never expected, but I'm just so, so grateful for. So that would be the title, Unexpected Blessings.
I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to New York Times and USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Emma Chase. Thank you for coming on.
This was so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Hold one second for me, Emma. Hold on. All right, Brown Bookers, if you love that interview, and I know you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all know what to do. It's 6 o'clock. And let's tell everybody, the replay is going to happen like at 7. Because I heard y'all, I got y'all emails. I got everything y'all said to me. And y'all was like, why didn't you ever get your replay? And I'm like, well, you can just go back on the YouTube and just hit play again. But hey, I get it. I understand. So we're gonna start doing some replays. So if you missed this episode, you can always see it again. All right. Make sure you go check out Royally Remembered and just pick up everything from Emma Chase. We thank her again for joining us, and I thank you for joining me. Y'all be good, stay blessed, and stay positive.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby.